Take your position. The show is about to start.
Ladies and gentlemen,
welcome to On Screen, where we discuss all things cinema all the time. Here's your hosts.
the award goes to
Joe Brunett, Joe Cuffney, and Jesse Reichenstein. Lights, camera, action.
Okay, this episode we are talking about The Adam Project, which is another Netflix movie.
Yeah, this was one that I don't know, just a shot in the dark. Hope it's good, and I picked it. I liked it. I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you guys think.
Have you seen the movie The Kid with Bruce Willis and Spencer Breslin?
Nope, definitely not.
Great movie. It's from, I think it's early 2000s or late 90s. I can't remember. I think it's early 2000s.
Is it similar?
Basically, so I describe this as like the science fiction version of The Kid, because basically Bruce Willis meets his younger self and like has to figure out how to send him back. He like went back. I don't know. It's similar in that way, but that's my immediate first reaction was it's like a sci-fi version of The Kid. I love The Kid. So I actually kind of like the whole plot of like hanging out with your like younger or elder self. I think that's fun.
Would you like to do that? I feel like
kind of.
I feel like I would like to know my younger self.
Same.
Like
I don't know. I don't know if I want to hang out with him.
I mean, I don't know if
I'd be way more empathetic to
helpful.
him than he would, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how my younger self would react to my current self. Would be like, "What are you doing?
Yeah, that's actually a good
what are
point.
you doing?
I would want to be the kid, not the adult. I would want to like be the kid seeing my older self, not the adult seeing my younger self.
Agree. Yeah. But yeah, this is an interesting like sci-fi-ish thing to think about, and also just like I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things you can't think too hard about because like a lot of it you just gotta kind of roll with, like especially with like time travel. Like I feel like in a lot of time travel movies that I've seen, they're just kind of like they take a moment where they try to like address the absurdity of the whole thing. And I feel like they kind of did this when the kid was like, but aren't we going to have like, isn't this like a multiverse? And because like, just don't think about it that much. No, just like stop, you know?
Yeah, I do agree. Like some movies can get too scientific. I feel like in that way where it's just like, just let it go. Like let people, it's like up to imagination. I think that's way better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like, I don't know. I go back and forth with Ryan Reynolds. Like sometimes I like him, sometimes I don't. He plays the same character, I think, in everything. But this one, I actually liked him in this movie. He didn't bother me in this one. Like sometimes I find him annoying, but this one he didn't bother me, I think. I don't know.
So are you generally a fan or not a fan?
I would say for the most part,
Ryan Reynolds' sarcasm, because I feel like he plays himself more than anything.
He does, which I don't know if I like it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jesse,
I don't. I mean, so let's be honest. I was going into this being like, this is another dumb Joe movie that I don't even know what it's about.
That's every time me or Joe thinks it's a dumb Joe movie.
I'm like, I don't know what this movie is, but it's probably some dumb movie that's a piece of garbage.
It's not Bowfinger.
It's not. I'm like, it's not a classic 1990s Steve Martin film. What is this garbage? But I'm not a Ryan Reynolds fan. I used to like Ryan Reynolds, and then he became like,
I think I did too.
He became like a meme of himself.
Yeah,
I feel like
a
after
living
Deadpool,
meme.
Yeah, like he became too much. Like at first it was funny because it was like Ryan Reynolds being funny, and now it's Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds,
right?
Because it's like so attributed to him.
Even more,
and
meta.
I feel like there's always like an unfair hate given to Deadpool after the fact for what it did, I feel like, to movies. And this like
I wasn't a fan of Deadpool.
And like it kind of like I think it could have worked once, but it's just like changed how those movies are always made now. And I just don't like that style of movies. Like I don't, which I think I actually, again, coming into this, I actually did not come into this thinking it was, I did a little bit thinking it was a dumb Joe movie. But it always helps, guys. This helps with the ratings.
Dude, I always think about that.
because I actually kind of like you were saying, like I went into this being like, oh, it's just gonna be a Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yeah,
like it's sci-fi. It's Ryan Reynolds. I know exactly what this is gonna be.
Yes.
And it wasn't that bad, and I attribute a lot of it to the kid actor, who was very good, and it also kind of like helped it there be like two main actors instead of just Ryan Reynolds being the main. So I feel like it was like Ryan Reynolds was only 50%. So it was like a bearable amount of that style of comedy, even though the kid was like a mini me. But again, it's because it's Ryan Reynolds being Ryan Reynolds, I think. I think like when someone else does it, it still even works better.
Right.
It's this like thing of like I'll add to like, I don't actually love Mark Ruffalo, but it's one of these cases where I'm like, I feel bad saying it because it's like, I think he's really talented and he's good, but because he is Mark Ruffalo now, I can't watch it without being like, that is Mark Ruffalo. So like when people get to that status, right, it kind of sucks because they get to the status usually because they're really good, but once they hit it for me, I'm like, oh, this is a Ryan Reynolds movie and that's Mark Ruffalo. But like the kid,
what Mark Ruffalo movies like brought him to that stat? Because like I actually love Mark
Avenger
Ruffalo
movies.
Is that it, Jess?
I do.
No, well, he's just in Spotlight. I think of him a lot in Spotlight.
I go back and forth with him.
He just feels like he's always been like, I feel like I've just always heard, even from when I was a little kid, like you just knew Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of what the movies were when we were kids that I'd be like, why he was in the limelight, but he's been huge for so long.
I do want to give a Walker Scobell is the kid actor. So shout out to Walker. Yeah.
So 13 going on 30. I mean,
yeah,
I will say it's funny that I'm just realizing this now. 13 going on 30. What's
great movie? Oh, he's in Shutter Island too. Yeah.
Like their chemistry is actually really good, and it's funny now to be like, all right, 13 going on 30 was actually, I thought that was a good movie,
right?
But it's the same because they have good chemistry. Like, I will say, I thought she was very good in it.
She's always good. I feel like she's always solid.
She
so is Zoe Saldana. She's awesome. I really like her.
Yeah. I mean, come on, look at it. Mark Ruffalo movies.
Well, I was thinking he's in Zodiac from 2007, and he plays like that same reporter, like detective, like not comical, but like kind of a funny guy, but not really.
Yeah,
great movie though.
It's interesting. I love all of those movies that he's in. So like,
I mean,
I just think it's interesting that like, so it's almost like he's too big for him to like do it for you guys. You just recognize him too much, kind of thing.
Well, that's what I like. Like I'm looking through these movies again, like because he's gotten here because he's good. Like I love a lot of these movies he's in. And actually like, now I'm realizing like I did see him a lot growing up because like he's in all these movies and like Date Night, The Kids Are All Right.
Kids Are All Right is really good.
Yeah, like that was a big movie. But like nowadays, I'm just like that's just, and he's not a character, like to me, he's not someone who transforms. Like he's an actor who kind of play like Ryan Reynolds a little bit. Like he plays that same
kind of know what
Ruffalo character. He is definitely in Hollywood when they write scripts. There are for sure people who write, this is a Mark Ruffalo-esque character.
Yeah,
like he is that he's become an actor who is definitely a descriptor
which is not a bad thing because that helps.
No, right. Again, you're amazing, but once you hit that stage, it's like the problem where I'm like, it's so hard for me not to, and this has come up a billion times in like House of Gucci, we talked about it, where like it's all like, do we need these names? And like some of them transform enough where I'm like, oh, I didn't see them. Like you have to even reach another level, I feel like, to be that level of good and still be in movies where I'm not just seeing them. Like, but
I agree.
Anyways,
I agree. I 100% agree.
I think this is Jennifer Gardner, right? I'm not mixing up a Jennifer. Okay, cool. Yeah. Like she is also to that point though, where maybe it's because I don't see her a lot, but like I'm very aware it's her.
Yeah.
But she's still good. Yeah. But I guess maybe because she wasn't like the main character, it didn't bother me as much. But I don't know. Yeah. But the kid, killer.
He was
great. Very funny.
I did I thought this was gonna be a lot more. I mean, it is funny, but I thought this was gonna be more like a funny action movie. But it was a lot more serious than I thought it was gonna be. So that was kind of good.
I
That was
did
kinda
not
fun.
like how much it dealt with like death and facing certain things in your life.
It
And I was like,
did
I don't want to
overdo that a
confront
little
this.
bit,
I actually liked the mix of comedy, plot, and action. Those are some of the things I'm always looking for in movies. But like, what is the ideal mix of like comedy, action for you guys? Because like
100% comedy, no action.
that's what I figured. I would have guessed that actually.
Bowfinger has action. Okay, so it's there.
So it's not perfect
question.
in your eyes by your standards. It's not 100% comedy.
Right. I don't
No,
think
it's not 100%. The right answer isn't the right answer is 100% Steve Martin.
Trying to
There
think of a
was
good
zero
example.
Steve Martin in this.
Because I mean, even just like, do you want more comedy, less action, or more action, more comedy?
It's a great question. I think it's how it's done. Like, I think it's how it's done for me. Like, I'm not a huge sci-fi person, like, to begin with. So I think that's, I like this. I actually really did like this movie too. But I think that's something that I didn't like about it was the whole sci-fi. I don't know. It just gave me like, I've never seen Doctor Who, but like I got Doctor Who vibes, even though I've never seen it. I'm like this. I feel like this is what Doctor Who might be. I don't know, but
I don't know. I've never seen it either.
Me neither. I don't know, which is not a bad thing. Again, like
to me, it's like the mix of comedy and plot is like, or the mix of comedy and action is like completely dependent on how seriously the movie takes itself. I didn't think this movie takes itself too seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like it could get away with more ridiculous comedy because of the fact that it didn't take itself too seriously.
That's the Deadpool thing though that I don't like. It's just like that same, like it's like Deadpool was funny because it was a very self-aware movie.
I kind of agree with that a little bit.
But I was thinking, like, I would not want more I mean, just talk, like, I don't care about action. It's anytime we start to go into an action scene, like, I think it was that first when he's at the house and the people show up and they have to, like, run, and there's, like, a fight scene. And I remember just staring at it being like, man, is it, like, I get it watching it because I'm like, it is fun to watch. But I was watching that scene and thinking, like, isn't it funny that we like just love like 2 hours of this, and is it because like we wish we could do that? Because like I remember as a kid having like a lightsaber and being like, oh yeah, and so I'm like, do we still watch them being like, I wish I could do, like, I want to live
100%,
totally.
Yeah,
but like so I'm like fine with some of it, but then I'm never someone who likes like, give me more action.
I do think more explosions generally
more
is better.
Yeah, more.
Well, the action scenes. I actually thought like the fight sequences are actually done really well. I thought those were actually kind of fun. But yeah, I going back to your kind of previous question, Joe, about like what would you like? Like I think Hot Fuzz action comedy is like that's great for me. Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I think it might be this. I think it might be the same like amount, but I think Hot Fuzz is just done way. It's like technically like how it's put together is better.
In with the story really well. It adds to the story. It doesn't take away from the story.
Right.
It's a really tough thing to get right.
Super. It's hard.
Well,
it's like comedy horror to me. Like it's the same thing. Like it's so hard.
Yeah, and I feel like because Hot Fuzz is less like self-aware and more like absurdist.
Right.
So it's like the action is almost funny in its own because it's absurd.
Right.
Like you're like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
So it just like adds to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I didn't finish it, but I don't know if you guys have seen it. The new Suicide Squad movie. Like
I thought you were gonna say you didn't finish Hot Fuzz. I was like, we reviewed it. You're like, I didn't actually finish that.
No, but so James Gunn, who directed it, he also did like the Guardians movies, and which I think are incredible. Oh, great balance of comedy and act. Like that's
that's a good example of the like a good balance. Yeah, I agree.
But like
Suicide, here's the thing. Quick thing. Guardians, great. That's Chris Pratt, right?
Yeah.
If you switch Chris Pratt out for Ryan Reynolds,
no, it wouldn't be the same. I agree. I actually agree with that. Ryan Reynolds, I totally agree with that.
Like imagine Guardians with Ryan Reynolds. It would have become it could be the same script, but it would become a Ryan Reynolds movie. It wouldn't be as good.
I agree with that.
So would Ryan Reynolds then be an example of an actor who's like too married to a certain style of acting?
Yes, but I think it's interesting because he was in a remake in Earth 2000s of Amityville Horror. He was in like the main star of that movie, which he was actually really good in that movie. But I think ever since I don't know what movie, but something hit him, and then he just does the same thing. Like he hasn't done like out of the box kind of thing, which I would love to see him do more because he was actually really good in the Amityville Horror. I thought he was awesome.
And like he was in like I used to in like high school. I actually Ryan Reynolds was one of my like favorite. If you were like name some of your favorite actors,
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds would be up there. And it was just like I think it was The Nines is like a weird movie he was in, and like he was a really good like pretty serious actor, and I think he still would be, but. To me, maybe it's not in my head. It is Deadpool that like locked him into this because even when I see, he owns like Mint Mobile now, and he does like Mint Mobile ads, and he does ads for his vodka or gin or vodka company, and it's like it's doubling down on that like Ryan Reynolds persona,
right?
And it's like it was hilarious at the beginning, but now to me, it's like
I just want to see Ryan Reynolds. Yeah,
I
want to see something new. Like, yeah, I'm not like I don't not like it because I do think it's funny sometimes. I just want to see something else too. Like I want to be like, oh, cool, you can do this. Give me something else. Like, so.
All right, I like it. I'm glad we clarified everything about Ryan Reynolds. Hopping off the soapbox for a second, what do we think about the ending?
Well, so Ryan Reynolds in the ending.
What do you think about the ending? I don't know, Jesse. You go.
It has to go with so many parts where I'm like, I don't want to deal with. It's this weird blend of like, which I'm sure for some people hit perfectly, but of like action comedy and then also so deeply serious and like real when you're like parents dying and like your kid, and like I'm like, holy shit, like I don't know what it's like. There's comedy and I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, cool action, and then it's like this super serious moment, and I'm like, this is too much for me right now. But it the end, I'm trying to remember the end was when he meets her again, right? In the like class, she's like a guest lecturer and she walks in.
Well, yeah, I guess that's part of it.
Or do you mean like the playing the catch part?
I was thinking
where do we pick up
like the like bullet it
just being destroyed, like the climax of.
Yeah, like that's kind of like I was kind of underwhelmed by that, to be honest, but
I mean, it was fine. I thought the part, where he was like, yeah, just shoot me, blah, blah, blah. And her other timeline self was like in the perfect place there. And he was like, I knew it would hit. And like, it just felt like obviously like very textbook, like he's the science, and then he's like, kid, it pays off to be a nerd. Like that just felt so cheesy textbook. Like,
well, that's kind of why it like hit me weird. I was like, is that it?
Yeah.
And the whole time you kind of were like, wait, what is happening? And if they get out, are they going to be safe? And who dies if they get sucked in? And like, what, kind of being like, wait, what are we trying to avoid right now?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you guys on that. So I don't know. I wasn't like not under, I don't know. I was like, okay, it kind of fit for me. I was like, okay, it makes sense that it ended, I don't know. I don't know. It's still good. This one.
I think they could have wrapped. Well,
yeah, they could have definitely
needed to wrap it up. Could have done a better job.
Yeah, totally. Wait, did they say the Adam Project or no? I can't remember.
Yeah, because it was called the Adam Project. Be like when he,
dude, we were at 3 for 3. Let's go.
I believe when they went to go like at the college, Mark Ruffalo's first entrance, he was like, or so, they were talking about it and they were like, she's been funding the Adam Project.
Right.
Like kind of
right.
thing.
Right.
I think they definitely say it a few times. What was the one thing I wanted to add in? I
love Catherine Keaton.
At the end, when he's like, Mark Ruffalo's character is like, you can't tell me, AKA, I know I die, but you can't tell me anything about it. Because we can't change history. And I'm like, you kind of already just changed a lot of history.
Yeah.
With this whole thing. And you went and you like, first you were like, we can't change history. But then he like drove, and then obviously like hit the car and saved the kid. And then was like, you got to do it with me. We got to destroy this thing. And so I'm like, I mean, I get it also. because he's like, it's ethically, you can't do it. But I'm like, guy, you already jumped the ship. You changed a lot of history. Just, you know, come on, just let him tell you. Just let him tell you. Just let him tell you.
Just let him tell you.
That'd be me in the theater. We were watching the theater. Just let him tell you. Come on.
Oh my God, dude, come on. Yeah. I don't know.
Should we rate it?
Locations.
Yes.
Well, not specifically, but it
Washington.
was shot in and around Vancouver, BC, but it's supposed to take place in Washington, the state of Washington.
So all of that was Vancouver or like, you know, British Columbia.
Yep, it was all around Vancouver, British Columbia. So
interesting.
Ryan Reynolds, Mr.
Cool.
Canadian.
Also, since we live in Portland, this will be fun, but there's a beer that Ryan Reynolds Adam's drinking, and it's called Ninkasi, which is based in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah,
so that was kind of fun.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
Of course. I also didn't realize Shawn Levy, the director, he did like The Big Fat Liar, Cheaper by the Dozen, Night at the Museum. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, pretty good track record. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But let's rate it. Oh, do you want to?
Yes. So you guys got to go first.
I'll go first because I haven't got first yet. Units. I like this movie. I think I like this better than I thought I was going to. Because I don't know. Like we were talking about earlier, I just thought this was just like another Ryan Reynolds action movie. I'm like, I know exactly what I'm getting, like, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing however I'm feeling at that time. Who knows? But I was pleasantly surprised. Acting was great. The fight sequences were great. Yeah, I don't know. If you're looking for just like a sci-fi comedy, feel like Ryan Reynolds, I would definitely recommend. I think you'd dig this. Locations were cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7. I will go 7. Ooh, lightsabers.
Yeah, they were kind of lightsabers, weren't they?
Yeah, and the kid said, he said something about lightsaber in them. I can't remember the quote, but
he he was like, "Is that a lightsaber?" at one point, and then he definitely did say something again when the first time Ryan Reynolds like actually pulled out the fight or something.
Which is funny because that quote about the lightsaber, I read this on IMDb. I don't have it in front of me, but apparently that quote was also used in a different Ryan Reynolds movie. So in 2 Ryan Reynolds movies, there's the same exact quote about a lightsaber.
They're running out of stuff. They're reusing lines.
They're just reusing. They shoot test footage with Ryan Reynolds and they just use it for different movies.
He showed up in the Deadpool costume and they were like, "We can't reuse this again."
No, what they do is they put him in an all green screen room and they just shoot him doing random things and they'll just randomly put him in a movie. Like, oh, hey, this will work.
It's like 20 movies at once. Amazing. Oh yeah, Shawn Levy, man, Cheaper by the Dozen, 2003.
Great movie.
This guy's on a roll. All right, I'm gonna give a lot of credit to this director.
Yeah.
Because we're real in sync today, man. I like this better than I thought coming into it.
Have we the same ratings for both of them so far?
I don't know, but I'm about to give it a 7 to be honest. So again, very similar of like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be Ryan Reynolds. I already know. It'll be like so middle of the road, but like good for Ryan Reynolds, but it's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But it was better than I thought. It like didn't go too far into any, didn't go too far into the action or too far into the Ryan Reynolds comedy or too far into the sci-fi.
Yeah.
So it was a nice, it was for everything that was going on. They struck a pretty good balance. Great acting. Again, I'm sure if you like Ryan Reynolds, like you'll love this. And if you're on the fence, you might. I don't know. You could be like us.
We did
be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. It was like all these actually movie, like talking about the Cat and the Moon too. I both been like, oh, it's gonna be a movie I just kind of like get through. But both movies actually like sat down and was like actually, and if I missed like a minute or something, I'd actually rewind and be like, I gotta actually know what's going on. So we'll go 7. 7.
Atoms. Like the atom.
Cool. Those like, I I don't know why I kept thinking the guy had like nunchucks, but they were like the lightsaber part was like just like the rope between the nunchucks. Like I was like, wait, one guy has like a dope lightsaber, and then like nunchucks are cool, or I used to always say nunchucks.
I used to say
nunchucks. I was like, I grew up being like, yeah, I love that would be my weapon of choice, man.
They're
Teenage
easy.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, yeah. But I was like, what a lame future version of them. It's like it's just a lightsaber doing. Anyways, so we're gonna go seven nunchucks. Num6.
Or light chucks.
Light chucks.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you guys didn't like actively dislike the movie, I guess. No. Like, yeah, I wasn't. I mean, this was a shot in the dark. This is more my kind of movie. Like, I do like sci-fi movies. I wouldn't say this is like this just to me was like a Netflix movie. It's like a movie that was made to be a movie. Yeah, but it wasn't. It's not. It's not. It's got the big names. It's got like an interesting enough story, but it's like just kind of feels like it's meant to be like meh, And like I had fun with it, but like it's not something I'm gonna like rush back to watch or anything like that.
Right.
So like I have to give it like a solid like I don't know, like 8, I guess. Like just because like it is the kind of movie I like, probably more so than you guys, but like it's not a 10, And so as far as units, I probably got to pick. I'm gonna pick like bad science references, because I always love when a movie like tries to explain something that like isn't real science with real science, because it just never lands for me. I'm always like, just
I feel you.
But anyway, I'm glad it was at least a little bit enjoyable.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I would say all 3 movies I did not enjoy watching any of them. So
it was a good pick. It was a good batch. You guys got to remember to ask me, man, because this one was out of 100, and I really feel like I should have told you guys earlier. I really feel like it's messing these ratings up, guys. The one thing I forgot to say though that I want to bring up is maybe it's because in Marry Me with that Wix product placement, I'm like more attuned to like that stuff. There for sure was a Omega watches some deal in there, because there was like they were talking about their dad's watch, and then there's like a beautiful shot of this like Omega Speedmaster that was like I don't know, in such a way where it was like so quick, but you were like, they definitely purposely, there's no reason to take that nice close-up shot of that with the Omega logo.
I talk about the Marry Me reference all the time. Wix.com.
Yeah, we build them on a site on Wix.com. But yeah, so I'm very like attuned. But I was like, and Omega they just released this really cool collection with Swatch. Actually,
that's probably why they did this.
Which is like why it's also why it was also like really top of mind. I think Ryan Reynolds might have.
I could see him having a partnership. I could see that.
I don't even know if it's Omega, but I feel like Ryan Reynolds has some kind of watch thing. I don't know. Anyways,
not believe that.
But it was on top of my mind. Now I feel like anytime we watch a movie, I want to pick out if we find just that because it's always just real quick, but they're those like that didn't need to be there. Like that close-up shot didn't need to be there with the brand name.
Yeah, right.
It's like car. I always think about it with cars. Like Volvo is very often like the family car in movies, and I always think of like, is that purposely always a Volvo? It's like the family car. You look at James Bond.
It's like
like Aston Martins.
Yeah.
Like I mean, but that's like iconic. Everyone's like, oh, Aston Martins are the James Bond car. Yeah. I mean, as in that probably was a paid thing, but like
it started off probably as a paid thing. Now it's like a thing.
Yeah, it's like they couldn't. Although I wouldn't be surprised if like the next one they're like he gets into like a Kia Telluride.
Actually,
it's like, catch me later in a Kia Soul, those box cars with like hamsters, and it's like neon orange.
That'd be awesome.
I just want to do really bad product placements, and a series.
That would be a good little, yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Everyone's like, why is James Bond getting in that car? And you're like, they gave us the money. Like, I don't know. You gotta fit it in.
Clothes, you have like Goodwill tags on your clothes.
It's like really blatant, like Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah. But yeah, cool. Good pick. Yeah, I think the fact that I didn't go super into sci-fi, I think for me, like, I like sci-fi and like very like minimal, like, I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, I always go back to Cloverfield. Like, Cloverfield it's a horror movie, but it is sci-fi. I mean, the freaking monsters come from, outer space. So it's like, it is sci-fi in that way, but it's like a drop of it. They don't like discuss anything about it. So I like when there's like that. Like sometimes, like, I don't know, like I can't watch Star Trek or anything. That's just too sci-fi. But
well, I was gonna say it's like sci-fi as part of the quote unquote real world rather than it living in sci-fi.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yes.
It's rooted in reality.
Right. But cool.
Got any movie news?
I got a couple things. So apparently HBO they just greenlit a Welcome to Derry prequel series for it.
Yeah, I heard
which I'm very excited about. I don't know. There's no other info, so I don't know yet.
It's a series though.
The series.
I'm already so into it because I love series over movies. So
I know.
And this sounds great. This sounds like a Stranger Things, but HBO style.
It'll probably be similar, yeah.
Yeah, I'm into this.
But wait, will this be like with Pennywise already existing, or is this about like
I don't know. I've heard rumors that it's like the origin of the entity of Pennywise, but I don't know.
I'd be really interested in that.
I'm very curious. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we watched Death on the Nile. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet. I know, Joe, that's right in your wheelhouse.
I saw that it's on Hulu now, so
you're probably gonna pick it. I bet you'll pick it. So
I probably will.
I won't say anything, but we watched it. So
was it good? Wait, just tell me if you thought it was good. Actually, don't.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything because I want you. I don't want like anything that I say.
Don't. Like,
yeah.
I gotta come in.
This is
blind.
too much of a Joe movie.
Yeah, I know. I want you to enjoy it for what it is for you.
Before I tell you how trash it was. But anyways,
it was garbage.
But anyways,
after I watched it, it was so bad. I took my projector and our garbage can outside and I just threw it out.
You just have a baseball bat in your alley.
Death of a projector.
Oh, but yeah, that's all I got.
Oh, well, wait, so you have HBO though for this Welcome to Derry thing?
I have everything except for Peacock. I don't have Peacock.
Dude, if you got HBO, dude, you got to check out Search Party, man. It's this HBO series. It's like we were talking about, like Welcome to Derry. Like, oof, man, it's like it's right.
Is it like up there? Like, yeah,
it's up there, man. It's 5 seasons. It's like, dude, it's got everything. Check it out, dude. Check it out is all I'm saying. I don't want. It's such a Joe thing. I don't want to ruin it for you, but like, it's pretty good. So,
note taken. All right, Search Party. Okay. I'll write that one down. That's a new one I haven't heard. So
yeah, no, dude, it flies under the radar. So just take a little note. I also my train of thought. I always forget her name. She's the main girl in it. She's from Arrested Development. It's like the Leah Shawkats.
Yeah.
Because she's in Arrested Development, I have to send you guys this clip of someone took clips from Succession and cut it together like it was shot like Arrested Development. And it's so funny. But it makes me think of the how you did like the horror films with like the 90s like sitcom entrances, and I think there's more there too after this.
I agree.
This is the whole thing. So
I would love to do stuff like that. I'm really bad at coming up with ideas.
So
if you got the ideas, pitch them my way.
Are we all out of movie news?
I think I'm out of movie news, dude.
Did you guys watch the Oscars, or how many weeks ago?
No, but
the Grammys are on tonight though.
Oh yeah,
or were
they were? I think they're done already.
I don't know.
I just thought it was funny. They had an after party for like all the winners, but it's 21 up. So like Olivia Rodrigo couldn't go. I was like, that's so weird. Like, make it all ages and just have like a bar. Like, I don't know.
Being a kid, successful kid, man.
It's hard to be a successful kid. You know.
Exactly.
You know, man. I wasn't into any of those Hollywood parties.
I tried, but all
I
right.
feel like there.
Is there anything else?
I'm just trying to think what I watched last week because in my head.
I did watch. I watched. This is another one that falls into like my historical drama category that I like. But I watched Greyhound. Tom Hanks is a national treasure in it.
Nick Cage.
Oh yeah, I heard that was good.
This is a story about Tom Hanks as a boat captain who crosses the Atlantic in World War II and is hunted by submarines.
Whoa.
It's
that
good.
Sounds awesome.
It's an Apple TV one. It came out in 2020, but it was super good.
You just sold me on that. That was a cool premise. That's a really cool premise.
And I'm gonna make it better, right? They're called the Wolf Pack, which is actually like a real thing. Like submarines would like pack and like hunt as if they were wolves, except then they would just like sink ships.
That's crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Really interesting. Very well done movie. I enjoyed it.
Sweet. I'm into it.
Okay, I can't believe every time I saw this, I was like, gotta bring it up on the podcast. So glad this is the last chance, and Nick Cage reminded me of it. That new movie coming out about Nick, like where like the guy's obsessed with Nick Cage.
He's
and Nick Cage
himself.
plays himself.
It's insane. Like what? Talk about meta.
So crazy.
Isn't that crazy? It's like it's Major Talent.
Yeah. I just
man.
don't understand. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm ready for it. I'm all for it already.
When's that come out?
It's got to be soon. I feel like they don't show previews that early, like anymore. I feel like once you start hearing about a movie, it's not long until it's out.
Right. About it.
Oh man. Thank God that no date.
No, I didn't see anything on there.
Major Talent. Movie.
Is that a wrap?
Yeah, I think so. Unless you got anything else.
Coming April 22nd.
I smell a movie in one of our features.